And one more thing that was coming up that to mention about the light language is that, and this is coming up also because of what I heard Jason Estes share about his perspective on light language. And all I can say is that the light language that comes through in my sharings, all right, let's speak about that now. It's a tuning into the heart. It's a tuning into the soul frequency. And yes, it is a very unique to everyone sound. But here's the thing. Here's what I'm getting. Absolutely, this is my truth. This is what is coming through, and that is clear here. Otherwise, it wouldn't even happen. Is that the light language coming through here is the same thing as my presence. It is calling to, it is calling forth, it is resonating with the soul presence of everyone in the field, everyone stepping into the field, everyone participating, everyone watching, listening. So it doesn't mean that it draws you in or that you are consuming now, you know, codes through the light language or something that is doing something to you that you may not want to have happen, or some kind of a like invasion or manipulation or something like that. No, it's not possible. That's not at all what it is. It is the opposite. It is the the unique sound frequency that is coming through as it is tuning in the field here, as it is tuning in my consciousness into my soul awareness. Those sounds will only do the same for you, for your soul awareness. It will bring forth, it will intuit and um, cultivate as you're listening your own light language. Not that you um, listen to mine and then not be able to hear yours, or that you listen to this light language coming through here and it will influence you to speak the same light language. It's not possible. That is absolutely, that is not the nature of it. The nature of it is to awaken your own soul presence, and with that your own light language, if that is, within you, if that wants to awaken, if that is your time, if that is, what is in your process. Yes, so there is no influence as like an influence from someone else onto who is listening. This is a field of inspiration, of muse. This is a field of soul that brings forth soul in everyone participating. Exactly. Oh, so beautiful. Yes. Oh, yeah. 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 So it is not a color that is coming from me into your color pot and coloring in, adding my color into your color pot. That's not what it is. It is my color sharing and bringing forth your unique color pot. Yeah, there is no mixing of the colors. Yes, exactly. Even though we are in this, at the same time, we are in this field together. And the field is one field of light. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it will be a different experience through every fractal that is participating. of the field. Yes, because they are experiencing it, you are experiencing it through your presence. Yes, yes. So even if this is being heard from the mind, what it is doing is it is pulling you out of the conditioned mind into your presence. Yes. It can only do that because this is how it's flowing here. This is not coming from a structured thought pattern. This is not coming from the egoic mind. Although when the egoic mind still has currents and it is still flowing through, I can feel that. I can feel that as like in the field, especially in the intestines. I can feel it as like there's still a little bit of a tightness there. I feel it like sand in the machinery. And presence can feel that, so the presence in another can also feel that. The outside becomes the same like the inside. You feel the outside the same like you feel the inside. So you feel another, what is coming from the outside, you meet it in the same way as you would meet that feeling arising on the inside. And I mean, also, what arises in reaction or in response to something arising in your field, you always meet it on the inside. Presence will always be present with it. And that is yourself. That is on the inside. And then that is now the navigator of how it is met on the outside. And then that no longer is a reaction, it is an action out of flow. It is no longer a reverberation of the ball of attention and of presence bouncing back and forth between the egoic mind walls. That image of oneself being like a wall. Fortifying that image of oneself. Fortifying the duality within oneself. And so what, for example, the light language does is it pulls the energy out of the image, yeah, back into presence, yeah. And also, another beauty of this that I'm noticing is that as I, for example, witness and watch someone like Jason Estes sharing his wisdom, or I watch the documentary about Teal Swan, or I also watched some videos that she made just recently, just this through this documentary that came up. Um, what is so interesting is that I don't see. Well, let's just take Jason Estes with what he said about light language because that's more simple right now. But it also applies to, yeah, actually everyone else. Okay, so when I heard that, or when I hear him speak, and so I don't see anymore where it's like wrong, you know. I can see a presence, a being sharing from their universe, and there may be some aspects that don't resonate with my universe, where I say, or where I feel like, okay, different for me, different here. And they will never be able to see it from this perspective, so they don't know this perspective. They only know from their perspective. And so it is true. It is true out of their perspective. That is a true, you know, that is their perspective. And it holds something. But it only holds something for me if it rings and sounds true within me, if it resonates. Because if it doesn't, it doesn't. It doesn't hold ground in my universe, in my truth. It is not of relevance. It doesn't have a definition. It doesn't have it's not a statement of truth of this is how it is in my field, in my universe, in my reality, in my experience. And the beauty is that it's not about, okay, so the mind figuring out, okay, so what is the right, how is it really now? What is right, what is wrong? Um, that is going to be, again, out of the conditioned mind. And it's going to take you on, it's going to be, that's the duality, that's the drama of it. And that can be confusing and frustrating and challenging. But the beauty is that what it is about, what it really is about, is to see, oh wow, they have that's a very different way of seeing it than I see it. I don't see that it's wrong, but what it does is that it's like, oh, I have, it makes my colors to me, it helps me be able to see, well, how is it for me? It doesn't resonate with that, so what is my truth? So it really helps me come back to my truth. And then it's so beautiful to be able to experience that, wow, I can stand next to his truth, and we can hold hands and be perfectly in harmony, even though we have a very different angle and perspective on, let's say, light language. And I don't even believe that. I don't even believe that we do. Should I say that? Yeah, I think it's the angle and the perspective. I don't think that it really is in its core that we have a different, hmm. It's the angle, the perspective, and the experience. But the truth at its core, it doesn't take an angle or, yeah. No, that's what. It's both true at the same, that's what it is. Okay, so it's like looking at it through a kaleidoscope at light language. And both angles are true, depending on what perspective one is at in their whole, we experience ourselves through our minds. In the heart, however, when we are in the heart, it is the same. Not the same, because when the expression of it will always be unique, but it is one. Yes. And it would only happen that way, that two perspectives would come together that seemingly are exclusive of one another. They cannot stand together, yes. Um, why would they come together? It would be to have that experience, that being at the same time one in the heart and being able to hold, uh, that, that is completely fine. Holding hands in these different perspectives, like two angles looking through a kaleidoscope, having a complete different, color and pattern, yeah, looking at the same thing. Only apparently exclusive of one another, but in truth not. And it is the heart that allows the connection to stand, the connection to be held, and for the difference to be celebrated. And that there is a gratitude for the difference, because it makes a contrast, and it allows each one to have a more clear and a more direct experience of their own colors, of their own perspective of what it is for them. So it's like it supports the getting to know of your own truth, standing with somebody else's truth that doesn't resonate from the concept, from the mind, from the understanding part of it. Right. And the beauty is to see how that is the beauty of life. That is the spice of life, of having all these different angles and unique perspectives. And the perspective is grown out of the experience of it, and so it comes through the heart. And so at some point, as we go back into the heart and let go of the mind and let go of the concepts and of the structure of it, of the concept, I already said that, the understanding of it, we simply come into the pure experience of it. And the pure experience shared through the heart is just so powerful. And in that, there is no dichotomy, there is no duality, and there is no um, um, adversity. So beautiful. And it's like that with everything, especially with the political perspectives on to the stage. Yeah. Okay, so for the understanding, for the viewer, I will just share what Jason Estes, what I got from his sharing, that inspired me now to also explain about when light language happens here in my field through me. Is that he said that he was never um, inspired to share light language out in the open, because it is so personal and it is so powerful. And he doesn't want to influence anyone else to take on his unique light language, his unique sound. This is how I understood it. I can only share from how I understood what he said, and that would take away their ability to find their own sound, to find their own light language, that it would influence them. That's what I got, and I can see how that could be how that is a perspective, but I cannot feel it at all in my own. It does not resonate with what is happening here when I share, when light language comes through and it is being shared. It is quite exactly, and this is always what I'm getting from My soul, it is quite the opposite. Yes. Yes. So that's very beautiful. Yes. That is the seeming paradox, yeah? Yes. And of course, someone who would have that experience and that take, that angle, that perspective and experience of light language, like Jason, similar to Jason, then that would happen perhaps that when they heard my light language, perhaps there would be that effect, that response, that, resistance or closing, and I don't want to listen to that, and then they would feel like they would want to turn it off, and step away. Yeah, and that would be their guidance to do that for whatever reason. That is that would be their angle, their universe, their perspective, which is like literally a different universe from where I'm sitting from. At the same time, that is just within the one topic. At the same time, we're totally, like with so many other topics, I totally resonate with him, first of all. And yeah. So there are, within each unique reality and universe, onto each's source, where there, that whole structure of being that is sourcing the light all the way through here, through the tip of the iceberg. And this is, of course, through the multidimensional self, all the way from source through the tip of the iceberg here. There are a lot of resonances and then dissonances with every single torus field, which is a universe unto itself. And that goes into every single atom, which is a pixel of the whole picture. And that is the quantum field. But the beauty is that when we reside, come from our soul, and we're soul embodied, we come through the 0 point of our heart, where the soul streams through into the physicality, then that which is different is not a dissonance. It is celebrated. Yes. Exactly. So even a perspective that is completely different is not in it's like it's not at war. There's no adversity there. There is no either or, right or wrong. It is being celebrated as, two unique forms and colors of the whole. And the thing is, however, that they would probably never come together. They would never, coming through the heart, they would never, because there is no point. If they would come together, it would be to create more expansion, to come more into the heart. It would be to point out, if there is still within ourselves some kind of adversity or dichotomy, it would be mirrored that way. And it would be also to have the experience of, wow, that doesn't resonate with me, and I'm not meant to watch this, or I'm not meant to participate in this. It would throw us back to our own. It would make our own shapes and colors become more prevalent to us. It would have a purpose, and then it would happen. But as we have already, if we are already have transcended this kind of purpose and not in need of that kind of purpose anymore, then these two perspectives would never actually come together to create that kind of an experience of experiencing a dichotomy. Okay, this has been a long session. Now I'm guided to complete it. And I could just, yeah, I could sit longer. And guess what? You'll have that opportunity when you are traveling. So for now, we will bid you well. We will bid you well. We bid you well. We thank you, all of the consciousness units that participated in this field. Blessings are pouring forth. The grand central sun, through all the suns in the galaxy, through Solaris, through Earth, pouring through our hearts into the field. Fortifying soul presence, self presence, heart presence, stillness. Thank you. Namaste.